It shouldn't be news to any of us that sedans are unfortunately on their way out. The popularity and understandable practicality of the modern crossover has largely eked this segment out of the market. But there are still some magnificent ones out there. This is the 2022 BMW M550i, the top of the regular civilized adult 5 Series premium sedans. And let me just say right off the bat, as mature and quiet as it may look from the outside, this thing is a big surprise. Over its long series life, the BMW 5 has established itself as a byword for understated premium luxury. Not reaching quite to the heights of the 7 Series or Mercedes S-Class limousines, the 5 has established itself as a high-achieving traveling salesperson's car. Exceptional creature comforts within, ample power depending on the setup, and stately looks make quite a professional impression. Of course, there are many tastes, and thus many flavors of 5 Series to choose from. This versatility is perhaps best embodied by this M550i. Not an outright M, but not a slouch either. This vehicle equips BMW's N63 4.4-liter V8 engine. Rolling on a comfortable adaptive suspension system, this configuration puts out 520 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. The net result is something that looks and feels quite tranquil, but if you find yourself with an open stretch or a need to overtake, that torque delivers. Accelerating to 100 kilometers an hour in under 4 seconds, this thing gets places in a hurry, but without punishing its occupants. It's quite the opposite, in fact. Right now, as I roll along these twisting roads, my aching 27-year-old bones are being massaged by a pulsating lumbar support and with dynamic bolsters that gently squeeze my sides, raise my thighs, and keep my seating position from ever feeling stale. Better still, while I roll around with climate control off to save my audio, I am just enjoying the ventilated seats which blow cool air against my back, but in the case of this BMW, can work at the same time as the seat heater, a surprisingly underserved need. Were I carrying passengers right now, all 5 of us would be plenty comfortable thanks to optional 4-zone climate control. It even has a power sunshade in the back. Ahead of the driver, a heads-up display is standard. Below that, a fully digital instrument display does a pretty good job of communicating essential information and is slightly customizable. Driving assists in the 5 Series are competent, but not the strongest in the segment. Those already accustomed to Mercedes-Benz levels of semi-autonomy may not be satisfied, but highway driving is an absolute breeze, and with the adaptive cruise, stop-and-go traffic really is no issue at all. As for infotainment proper, it's BMW iDrive, which is a pretty slick system. Now, of course, nice options are to be expected in what is effectively a top-of-the-line model. But what really strikes is how this thing compares to other serious competitors. At the front of my mind right now is the vehicle I drove last week, the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT53. That sedan, another powerful, comfortable, cornerable, all-wheel drive family sedan, was quite nice and came alive in the bends. That said, it left me a little wanting until then. Its ample power simply didn't really feel fast until you were pushing heavy G's on those Pilot Sport 4S tires. This M550i isn't on such aggressive rubber or as large a wheels or riding on quite such a stiff, responsive suspension. What it does, however, is offer a far greater sense of occasion when you actually give it the boot, in what I would call reasonable, normal driving conditions. Whereas that GT53 needed to be pushed to feel enjoyable, this 550 is just comfortable to cruise around in, but so fulfilling when you find an opportunity to lean into it. That N63 engine I mentioned was the world's first hot V. That is, an engine which places its twin turbochargers between the cylinder banks. And running without the AMGs or the available straight 6's hybridization, this just gives you classic internally combusted torque. And perhaps even more important than that torque feeling good, that torque sounds good. be said that this can come with a bit of an inadvertent cost. An NRCan rating of a combined 11.6 liters per 100 kilometers is actually pretty decent, let alone for a non-hybrid V8. That said, the urge even in comfort mode to just... it's just too great. It's also worth noting the relative value of this vehicle. It's by no means a bargain. These things start at just $10 under $90K. That said, even with all the options on this car bringing it up just over 110,000 Canadian, that's still a good 10 grand less than the base price for one of those GT53s. And you get so much more usable fun in your daily commute. And I must say, comparable fuel economy. If you don't need the outright brawn and machismo of an M5, this thing ticks a lot of those boxes. If you're looking for a good, mature family cruiser that you can still have a little fun with, this is not a car to be overlooked. For Driving.ca, I'm Al Alder. For more luxury and performance cars, news, and reviews, follow us online on Driving.ca and be sure to engage on our socials over on Instagram and Twitter.